The rand is weaker today after a critical assessment about the effect of COVID-19 from the head of the U.S. Federal Reserve dashed hopes for a quick recovery, and confusion around South Africa's easing its lockdown restrictions weighed on investor sentiment. U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said the U.S. economy faced unprecedented risks, and Powell also pushed against the prospects of interest rates in the U.S. going negative, saying instead the additional government stimulus is needed. Meanwhile, the president's address to the nation last night drew mixed reaction from various quarters, with some expressing dismay at the lack of clarity on the easing of lockdown restrictions, while others commended the president for progress made in the fight against COVID-19. So let's get reaction from Unathi Henama, who is tourism lecturer at Tshwane University of Technology. Thank you very much for coming through, Unathi. Firstly, there has been so many differences of opinion regarding how the president's address could have been handled right now, especially speaking to the frustrations of many people who say they can't stay home anymore. They would like to get back into action. What do you think?
I think the president missed a great opportunity to basically open up the economy, because the vast majority of our people are poor, destitute, and they will basically die more from hunger than from COVID. We expected government to assist businesses to open up so that they are able to make their own money. The South Africans are able to operate within the second economy, put food on their own table, but by closing the economy, they've created the conditions for widespread poverty, number one, and number two, for a lot of businesses to fail. And that is quite unfortunate for a country like South Africa, which has got a low rate of entrepreneurship and a high rate of business failure. It's quite unfortunate.
Well, this time around, I mean, many people were saying that, isn't it better for consultations? Because it's hard to please everybody. And if the president was going to make decisions on his own, he would also have others frown upon his announcement on the commencement of, the regulations under level 3, if he were to ease them. But again, if he's talking about easing restrictions at some sports and then concentrating on hot spots for them to be under level 4, what do you say about that? I mean, this is something that could be frustrating for anybody who's trying to please everyone.
It's not about pleasing everyone. It's about creating regulations and rules that are rational. For example, truck drivers could not get a hot meal whenever they were traveling all around South Africa. Number two, stopping e-commerce didn't make sense. Number three, the ban on cigarettes and alcohol does not make sense, considering that these are major economic contributors. So when you create regulations based on our constitutional principles, they may have to pass the test of rationality. And some of these regulations did not pass that test. And it's quite unfortunate. Instead of us coming together as a country, fighting corona, we are going in different ways because our government did not listen through these consultations. How many consultations do they require? 1 million? It's unfortunate.
Well, at the moment, he's being taken to court by the DA, and so far the impression is that some of the decisions that have been taken are irrational. So in terms of trying to strike a balance in terms of rationality, what do you think about focusing on hotspots, not getting them to level 3? And again, there's been so much debate about how the Western Cape has been handling this, but the Western Cape also wants to get to level 3.
I believe it is important to focus on hotspots by ensuring that you provide protective wear for people who are working there within the healthcare system, ensuring that you provide hand gloves, sanitizers for these people within the first economy businesses and the second economy businesses. So in other words, you provide them with what they need to operate in a safe environment while allowing businesses to operate. So by keeping people at home, you are actually destroying the economic prospects of the country. But what we expect is that government would say, open the businesses, here are the measures of social distancing, number one, here are sanitizers, here are face masks, and all other measures that ensure that you are prevented from contracting the disease. But closing our economy, that I disagree.
Right, Unathi, thank you very much for making time to speak to us. The President has actually said that the consultations on easing of lockdown restrictions have begun. So we'll hear how they progress and we'll keep our tabs on the developments of that story. Unathi Henama is tourism lecturer at the Tshwane University of Technology.